Live streaming is on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 Good evening.
That's how we always start. How's everyone doing?
Good. I'm a little bit tired. It's now
Yeah,
the
it's 1 a.m. for you, right?
time shift. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again.
I'm tired too, but I don't have an excuse.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe you work too much on Optionator.
Yeah, I wish that was the reason.
Well,
we
but
want to hear
Yeah.
hear the big news from Optionator.
let's hear the big news. Yeah.
Yeah, so I released on. I was actually trying to figure. I looked that up quick. If it was Thursday or Friday last week, but obviously it was a day or two after our last check-in. I finally got that submitted to the App Store. I think it went live in the evening after being rejected twice for just small issues that I kind of expected along the way, just that I had to learn and adapt to, and relating to the code signing and entitlements and whatnot. But once I got that clear out of the way, went for sale, and obviously did zero promotion outside of telling you guys about it. Because again, I just it really wasn't 100% ready, so I didn't want to do any promoting around it. But anyway, 24 hours later, for the hell of it, I checked because I don't send you notifications. I check App Store Connect, and there were four legitimate sales. So but there's been none since. So it's been like 4 quiet days in a row after that, or 3 quiet days. But quite exciting nonetheless. I don't know I don't have any analytics installed on it. So I just have to go by what Apple provides, which is very, very basic. They're all in the United States, and that's really all I know about them. So I don't know who they belong to, but I had 4 actual users, or customers rather. And it might just be people that keep an eye out or get notified for new app submissions and want to try it out. I don't know. That's the only thing I could attribute it to, because it was within the first 24 hours of it being posted, and then nothing since. But I don't care either way, because celebrated over the weekend with some drinks, and I already spent more than I made. But hey, it was a great feeling, and then it gave me that motivation. Again, my original idea here was to get it done, get it submitted, so I could say I launched, and then be done with it, right? But then when I woke up and I saw 4 actual customers, I said, well, now I feel bad. I gotta like continue working along on this and clean up some of these things that I think are in pretty bad shape. So I spent Saturday morning and afternoon getting a new release ready, and I already pushed that out and addressed a lot of the stuff. And I'm ready to push out another update tomorrow that adds a couple of additional pieces of functionality in that. Not anything about what you and I spoke about, Arky, or your idea there about the break-even point, but at least a handful of other things that I wanted to clean up, shore up, and add in as well. So it'll be the second release coming out besides the version 1.0 tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, it was exciting. Like I said, my original launch criteria too back in January was 1 customer that I didn't have to hold a gun up to their head to buy. And now I had 4 without even trying. So it's quite exciting. Now that it says it's getting a little more matured, I'm going to then actually spend a little bit of time trying to promote it. But yeah, very exciting nonetheless. And it's certainly
that's super cool.
That's what I thought for sure. I checked Emmy because I know Emmy had a Mac. I was like, hey, did you happen to buy this and not tell me? She goes, no. I said, well, I checked with everybody that I figured had a Mac, and none of them had bought it. Which was great. I mean, it was good and sad to hear that nobody supported me. But that's why I had 4 random strangers is better than 4 friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So certainly unexpected and great news. And then, like I said, gave me that drive to keep working on it. So with that in mind too, with the commitments here. So for week 3 here, released version 1.1. And then I did have the commitment, though, to start work on the web dev utility, but I did not because I've been continuing to work on Optionator. So for week 4, I actually have to move down that. That is my plan here in the coming days, is to start work on that new application. So I'll clean this up here after the call. I'll move that down. So for week 4, also I realized I really need to not use this personal blog that I've had, the justintchristie.com that I used for blogging for the cohort. For the App Store, because everything links back to that, and things like the privacy policy and for support for the customers and that all just links to this personal blog that makes no mention really of any of this. So I realized I need to spend a little bit of time here and get a Christie software, because I already have that domain and it's easy enough. Get just a basic templated site up for Christie Software and a basic contact and support form and a privacy policy there. So so at least my App Store profile does not look like it's put together by a teenager that doesn't know what they're doing and linking all over the place. So I need to do that. Then, like I said, I got a third update that I'll be pushing tomorrow, and then begin work on that web dev utility.
A lot of action. That's great. So
Yeah, it's been an exciting past week.
Yeah. So one question: when you are creating this account with Apple, I believe that if you're planning to make money with it, they do ask for I forget what they call it, some kind of number that it's issued by some entity.
Duns and Bradley, I think.
Right. Can that be associated to your person, or does it need to be associated to a company?
So my account right now is an individual account, which I don't like, because if you go in and pull up Optionator, it has my full name in there as the developer. There's no way around that, because it's either done by an individual account is tied and they do a check against your social security number, or as a corporate account or a business account, it's then tied to that Duns and Bradstreet, or Duns number is what it is, and you have to have a registered Duns number there. So and to get that, you need an LLC or above. So I wasn't going to go through all that just to get this out the door.
But now, with all those sales,
I know I don't need them coming back and suing me personally.
that is true. I lost my fortune, Justin.
And speaking of which, one of the reasons that they ended up rejecting it was because they said it had light to moderate gambling simulation in it, and that you can't have an individual account if it has light to moderate gambling simulation. You can only have a business account and publish apps like that. So I kind of had to refute that and say, well, no, take a closer look. Like, the only way the gambling is by putting in your number of shares that you have and looking at what your profit could be. Like, if that's gambling to you, then I don't know. But just a funny anecdote there. But yeah, the Apple obviously takes it very, like, you can't just create an account on a whim. You have to tie it to the social security number and they check it, or the Duns number and they check it. And then you sign a huge slew of contracts with them.
Right, because I think just opening up an LLC for that, I mean, it's a lot of overhead, right? So I guess ideally you would want this associated to the SSN, and I'm assuming if you have sales, they will send you the tax forms, right?
But yeah, so I already signed all the tax forms and all that's in place. And they handle all of that for you, which is nice too. So they're only depositing their post-tax for all of the local municipalities. But I did confirm before I signed up is that I can upgrade from an individual account to a business account, because I want to make sure, let's say if I start actually getting a handful of sales, I will want to get a LLC and then convert the account without having to lose all of the previous analytics and reviews and whatnot. So I confirmed that you can do that. So that's why I just went forward with an individual account for now.
Okay.
All right, I think I'm good.
Okie dokie.
That's me. Wait, is that me?
That is you, yeah.
Okay.
Unless someone else sold a dog bed.
I did.
I hope not. Competing with me. Okay. So I did start putting everything into Notion. I was complaining about it again the other day, and Sven was like, you just have to start using it. And so then I did that. And it's fine so far. I don't really feel one way or another about it yet. So that's that. I just put out a new video, and it's really long. It's like 18 minutes long. But I think it's pretty good. It's interesting.
I saw it. You sent it to me on Gmail, right?
Yeah, was it the blog post notification?
Oh yeah. It's on the blog. It's linked in the blog. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got it.
All of you individually, personalized messages.
Right. I got it before, like an hour before the meeting today, right? Is
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
one
that's what
you're
yeah.
referring to?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was thinking. So I'm a big consumer of YouTube videos lately on cooking stuff, right? And I think one of the maybe what I notice is that all these guys that do the highlights, or they make a living out of YouTube. For every video they upload, which is let's say 10 minutes on average, they always put like an intro of the highlights of the video, right? Like teasers of
Mm-hmm.
what's coming. And I think that's also, if you don't have much time to watch the entire thing, maybe that will get you interested in coming back to the video later, right? If you saw something interesting or something funny, whatever that is.
Yeah,
I,
that's true.
maybe consider that, because I like today I got it. I started watching and I was 2 minutes into it when one of my kids said, "Hey, come here," and then I didn't come back to it.
I mean, I
Right?
know
But
that like the topic, well, right now at least, I think my videos aren't really interesting for anyone other than like people that sew or people that make stuff. I can't really imagine why someone would watch 18 minutes of me sewing if they didn't actually know how to sew. So that is a good point that hopefully in the future as I start to
No,
shift.
but I think right,
Go
but
ahead.
I think even every discipline, right, has its own kind of uniqueness and the interesting ways of doing something. So when I was looking at the pattern that you were making, right, the template,
Mhm.
I was thinking it's like, okay, do these templates are shareable? Meaning that how do you share a template? Is it like a PDF or let's say, because that would be another component I would imagine,
Mhm.
right, for sewing. So
Yeah.
how do you share that, or could you make those available, or I don't know.
Yeah, I
I'm
could
asking
and I
because I'm
should.
curious. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I should. I don't have a way right now.
Okay.
I would try to, put it into verbiage like the top is, you know, XYZ compared to the 3-inch strip, and then just give them a visual because I don't have a way to draw out. I mean, I guess I probably could, but I don't really have any indication that anybody wants any of my patterns at this point. So
Yeah,
that's
because
interesting.
maybe
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
right, because that would let others recreate what you do, right? So I guess
Yeah,
for the analogy here with cooking would be the recipe, right? It's always in, let's say,
yeah.
in below where the video description is, and that's a useful reference.
Hmm.
So you don't need to be taking notes. So I
Right.
was asking because I was just curious about this patterns.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
general, I watched your video. I mean, also not the whole 18 minutes, unfortunately. But in general, I'm quite interested in how things are made. So I liked actually the result you made. I liked the head. It looked really neat, I must say. I could see that.
Thanks.
Like maybe if on me, if you make it in like maybe I don't know, a nice pattern, military pattern, or like skulls on it or something fancy like that. I don't know. Then I would buy one probably,
Superhero.
especially for summer. But yeah, maybe it would be nice if you, yeah, maybe just for an audience like me, just a quick recap would be nice, and not so much detailed explanation. But for people who are interested in sewing, maybe they need that explanation. But I would just want to see
Yeah.
like the steps. Okay, this is what you need to do, and then this is the result. And then here, how it looks on me, how it looks on my dog, how it looks whatever. And yeah, no, that's really what interests me the most, like in these kind of YouTube
Yeah.
videos.
Well, this one was a little bit different too. Like they're not usually that long because it really was just like I thought it was interesting how I just tried to figure it out, like, starting with nothing. Most of my videos before have been like planned. I know what I'm going to make and I've made it before, and then I'm going to show you how I made it. But this one was just like, hey, let's try to make this thing. So it was different in that way.
So you figure that
And
out
better or
on.
worse, I don't know.
So you figure that out on your own while making it.
Yeah.
That's even more amazing, I must say.
Thanks.
I mean, if I would try that, it would screw the whole thing up, I think.
Well,
I tried
yeah, I was surprised it worked,
sewing when
but
I was younger, but I couldn't do it. It's so hard. My
yeah,
grandfather
practice.
was good at it, for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, so let me go back to this thing. Random thing was I'm gonna have to explain this whole thing. Poshmark has this thing called parties where they have like themed events for a category of items. And so they had a pet party yesterday, and I was like, oh, well, that's a good opportunity to list one of my dog jackets, and I listed it, and it got a host pick, which means that it was featured on the party, so a lot more people see it. So that was cool, but no one bought it, so that's not cool. And then, yeah, I posted about Harold the cat in my plastic group, and a lot of people were really into it, and said they would buy one actually. So I'm gonna the plush animals and the hats are kind of an interesting area that people seem to be interested in.
Do you want to show these things?
Here's a hat. I don't know where Harold is. I think he's
For
over on the
the
couch.
host pick on Poshmark, do you know how that works? Like, do people have to nominate you, or is it an algorithm that tries to determine what is popular?
No, so it's like they have like I think 3 people host each party, and then just of things that get posted like in the first hour to the party, they pick a handful of ones that are their favorite things, and then it's just like on the top of the party, see Lolina's host picks.
Okay.
Yeah, and like Poshmark's not really the platform that I had been going to for selling these things, but here's Harold. But I figured why not, because I got the notification that it was a pets party, and I think I have like 93K followers on there, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Umami. Or
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, whatever that is. So look, guys, I'm still struggling with that, but let me also open it up here for higher resolution. So you guys remember I was talking about the cooking challenge thing, right? So I started that exploration. I'm using again my channel on Instagram keeps growing, although I don't post as frequently as I used to during the beginning of the pandemic. It's kind of a steady growth, right? And every time I post anything, I like a picture of food, typically, I get about between 50 and 100 likes. Depends on the day of the week when you post, the response you get, right? On average, I've noticed that when people are busy during the week, they're just probably planning what to cook on the weekend. So anything you post original, everyone goes crazy, and this is where you get the most votes or likes. And then I just put the question, is like, hey, who of you do cooking challenges, or let me know, right? I'm looking for inspiration and maybe a group of people to to cook, to challenge each other and cook something new and improve the skills. And I received 3 comments as feedback. And what it's interesting about it is that instead of them really saying, yes, let's do a cooking challenge, or yes, we've heard of it, or we use this platform and so on, it was like, hey, here is a thing I cooked. It's like, why don't you try it, right? Which is in a way responding to the challenge, but they are asking me to be the one that cooks and not them being part of a cooking challenge. So and then I started interacting with these guys, and something that it's just 3 data points. And I remember what you mentioned, Sven, right? It's like, don't generalize with just 3 interactions. But I think that this whole thing of cooking challenges, is just too complicated for people based on these interactions that I had. Just there is not enough interest. Yes, we like cooking, but look, whatever is like, we'll cook whatever we have on the fridge and that's it. Or, so I don't know. Maybe so for the week 4, I don't know, I'm bouncing right between things, and I think the struggle that I'm having is that yes, food is what makes me excited, but I haven't found an idea that really sort of makes me passionate again, right, about doing this thing. So one thing, if you click on when it says for the commitment for week 4, there is explore Reddit recipes, which are very nice because they are very well structured. So I was thinking that if I could find out of all these thousands and hundreds of thousands of recipes that are already structured, a few of them have videos associated to the recipe. And that's a sample one, right? If you click that offline, you will see that there is a video related to that particular post in Reddit. So what I was thinking is building an aggregator that I call it, for the lack of a better word, how it's called, recipeswithvideos.com, right? So the idea being that is not only giving you the list of ingredients when you go to the supermarket, but when you click on the menu, on the video, you will see the step-by-step. And of course, the critical piece here would be that it would need to correspond to the recipe. And maybe at the beginning, there won't be many videos, but at least maybe through a nice interface, there's maybe a way to put this together, right? Think of it like a recipe book that curated content if necessary. And I don't mind, for example, doing this manually because I would consume it, right? But the thing is that you would have the recipe and the video step by step. So think of it like an aggregation of recipes with videos, so videos.recipes.com. But if this idea fails, right, meaning that if I don't find enough Reddit recipes that actually have a YouTube video associated with them, so I just got inspired, right, to maybe launch something. So maybe now I'm also thinking that maybe this is not about like finding something like super successful, but going back to the roots, the whole point was to release. So I still think that maybe having a cooking challenge app would be interesting, but I think the part that I'm most interested in is in improving the coding skills in iOS and going through the process. That's why I was asking Justin with his experience, right? I think it's very valuable, and I think once you do it, even if I get 1, not 4 sales, but 1, and hopefully you will get more, Justin. But I think I just saw how you got very motivated by getting these and releasing it. So I think that was the original idea of joining the cohort and so on. So going back to the basics, maybe that's a better idea, right? So in a way, this could branch into 2 things. One, recipeswithvideos.com, or the cooking challenge app. And I have the MVP sort of already in mind, right? It's just basically like a bunch of people that you invite over email. And once they log in, you get the challenge. You get a week or a determined time to submit your recipe with a picture, and there will be some voting. I think that's the basic mechanics of a cooking challenge, like voted by the community, by the ones participating, and then that's it. You get the winner, and maybe just put it at $1.99 or $1, right, on the App Store. So I guess as I find out what would be the best way of moving forward, I'll post 2 tweets on the next week. So with that, I'll stop.
I was wondering. I mean, you gave up pretty quickly on this cooking challenge thingies, right? But maybe you just needed to explain it to people a little bit better. Maybe it was maybe they just confused it. At least you got 3 responses, which is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not
Yeah. I'm continuing to, these discussions, keep going. But I guess the general feedback is like, I almost like, why wasting my time on cooking challenges, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like it, if you don't think there's let's say your passion in it, then maybe you should
right.
move to something else. But
Yeah, and I
It's
wonder,
totally
out of I don't know why. That's another interesting thing, and that's profound, right? Like it's like, why do people log in into Instagram? Of course, one, you want to make a following base for whatever reason,
Mm,
personal branding or whatever, get sponsorships or whatever that is. The other is you're just doing it for fun, just to check what's there. And it is hard to know what the real motivation behind every user is. So I don't know. I
true.
just get the feeling that the challenge, the cooking challenges, is yeah, maybe I shouldn't give up, but maybe post something
Archie,
else, poke the community. But yeah, it just, from the feedback, it didn't sound very promising, at least for these three guys.
ask yourself what your motivation is, right? So you have a barbecue channel where you shared because you just enjoy sharing your work, your cooking, right?
Right.
Like that's how I remember you explaining it the first
Right.
time. Just
Exactly.
because you were barbecuing anyway, and you just wanted to share the results, and you got a decent following there, right? So, and I'm assuming it's not far-fetched to say that those followers, they just enjoy that content. And it's as simple
Right.
as that, right? Like that is, I think, at the core of something like Instagram. There's much more to it. There's a lot more variations of that, of course, but that's like the most simple system, right? Someone who enjoys sharing whatever content that is, and the other side who enjoys consuming that content. Most likely, you are both in that same domain, right? In that case, barbecue. So I think maybe you don't need to go so far from home with the cooking challenges. Can you post one on that channel, for example, where you have already followers?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, I
Oh, that's what you
posted.
did. Okay.
Yeah, I posted. So I cooked something that evening. I posted it, and then I posted as a challenge. It's like, hey, who wants to, one, do your take on this? Two is like, do you do cooking challenges? So it was really like a bunch of questions, right? Trying to convey that I was interested not only in me putting the challenge, but also joining somebody else doing challenges, or whether that was a thing on Instagram. And so yeah, so I'm using that channel exactly as you mentioned, right? Try
Yeah,
to
but
leverage
also,
that exposure.
sorry, also people on Instagram don't really like to read a lot, so I don't know, it might be negatively impacting you to have, so many questions and
Okay.
points in your caption. Maybe if you just had like one thing you're trying to get, it might be clearer. I'm not sure.
Maybe just a
No, that
picture of what you cooked with an overlay of, can you cook this?
right. Exactly. Right.
I was kind of thinking the same. Maybe you can also just find a picture from the internet, from food you would like to cook, and then post it on Instagram, and then maybe just say, yeah, let's make a challenge. Can you cook this? And then, I don't know, describe your journey or whatever. Maybe that's even too long already. But you can make clear kind of that you are going to cook this, and you share, let's say, your result maybe
Yeah.
the next day or something, and then you tell what ingredients you put in it, and people can respond to that, and they can do the same. They can also share it on their channels or whatever, and they can maybe link your channel to that. So something like
That's a really that's a good point, guys. Yes, and I agree. People on Instagram don't read the captions; they just look at the picture, essentially, right? So, and
Yeah.
yes, I've noticed that a lot of these, pictures with the white fonts or whatever colors with good contrast to convey a message, probably those are read by people more than the captions themselves. So it's interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a try. You're right. I think, yeah, it's just take any of my new pictures that I'm going to upload and put that. It's like, hey, can you cook this? Or
Or
I
can you
challenge
do
you to
better?
cook it.
You
Can
know,
you
like
right. To poke the followers.
it's
Exactly.
fair, yeah.
Can you do
And
better? Yeah.
because, but well, another question in a slightly stepping back for you to kind of spark some thinking here is, because this has been a bit of a progression for you, right? Just kind of experimenting, like just wildly. Now, I think both of those approaches right now are interesting. I think, building an app to just learn and just launch something is absolutely valid, and Justin is the best proof point of this. And I think that exploration on Instagram right now is mostly for you, correct me if I'm wrong here, to kind of find somewhere which you are passionate about and where you think there is an audience, right? So, like, I guess as a next step, you should ask yourself, keep doing that, keep iterating on trying to find that, and then ask yourself why, right? And then what's next? Like, if you have that app, are you like, is that a fire and forget, like kind of like Justin thought it might be? And what if it's not, right? What if there is traction? Both. What if there is and what if there isn't? And because as you described it already, there's like 20 ways I could imagine this going, right? Like there could be live cooking challenges, there could be all kinds of stuff in that app. So just kind of, I think what would maybe help, at least generally, I think that does help, is structure your thoughts around like what's your goal, right? Like why are you doing this in general?
Right.
Because I think last week you actually said you're here just because you enjoy this kind of framework, right? You enjoy getting together and talking about the things you're doing. And if that's all, that's fine. I think you don't have to put any artificial pressure on yourself either. If that's just what it is, and you say, hey, you know what, this for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to learn iOS, and I just want to share with you guys my app. And you don't have to have any expectation of that making money even, if the primary incentive is learning, right? I think at least I personally am guilty of this a lot. Like I put these pressures on myself because I think, it needs to be more, but it doesn't have to be, right? But if you do want it to be more, kind of think about it in the back of your head and maybe kind of bring it up in these calls, right? Because that's kind of the things we can talk through with you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm in agreement exactly with this thing, right? Trying to go back to the basics. Why am I doing whatever I decide on doing? Maybe in parallel, I'll do this, what you suggested, just put a picture with, can you do better, cooking challenge, and let's see. Keep measuring that, right? So keep experimenting. I think that's one of the things.
Yeah.
So, yep. Thanks, guys.
And then as a last comment from my side, just obviously keep growing the channel you have, right? I think that's where you started. That's what you enjoy doing. I think one other potential, reason to do it is simply just growing that and finding different ways of how to engage with your audience you're already building, right?
Yeah, right.
It's you need to stay up to date, right? Like if you grow stale on your channel, it'll die eventually.
Right, exactly. And I was even thinking, right, of let's say non-digital ways of kind of entrepreneurship. A lot of these, it's interesting that a lot of the barbecue community, almost every channel you see there, the popular ones, they release like powders, right, like with salt, pepper, and a mix of other spices. They call them rubs. So I think that would be also, not to imitate what they do, but I think that's one way for these channels to monetize what they do. And they do it because they have the exposure and potential buyers. And so I was thinking also that maybe it's the non-digital option that I never ever considered, just because I guess this is what I do, right, in the digital thing, software and so on. But I think that's another interesting angle that I never thought about. So it could be interesting to explore.
Do you have like your own ingredients you use, which you think are unique to you? Like you have your own ways of cooking, right? So
exactly, right. So this is kind of where the secret rubs come into play, right? And I think that could be interesting, right? And I don't know. I need to think about it more.
Yeah, absolutely. And combine these two ideas. Do a giveaway. Giveaways are huge, right? Like you'll see way more interactions because, like, I don't know, a small little jar of the rub is not going to cost you much. But you come up with a funny or very engaging giveaway where they need to engage in the challenge. Of course, ask yourself why. What is your advantage of them doing that, other than growing the audience? But then, that'd be great. And then you have two things at once, right? You give it away. And of course, you have your first customer because you will require a review of that, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Good idea.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, now it's for me. Well, so from the development side, this week was not, let's say, very productive. But I focused a little bit on other things, and yeah, I also had like huge, huge back and pain, which led to me not wanting to sit on the computer actually. So I just made a little bit sports and whatever, stretched out, and yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have much progress. My teammate made some progress on Plot Maniac, which is good. And I also started an Instagram account this week, which is already, in my opinion, working better now than Twitter. And yeah, I'm trying to focus more on that a little bit. And I was thinking about the my blogging strategy actually, and that's maybe where you guys could help me, because I was considering maybe I want to take a story that exists already, and not a very complex story, but let's say maybe what popped in my mind first were like fairy tales, because they're usually like very short, and like they have like some characters, they're doing something, they're in different locations, and so everything is combined in them a little bit, and everybody knows them, even more important. So I could use a story like this maybe, and then from my blog perspective, I want to tell that story, but in Plot Maniac, I want to use the features of Plot Maniac to create like more and more elements each week until at some point I have the finished story. And yeah, I just don't really know which story to take. Do you guys have any ideas maybe, or I don't know, from my blogging at least?
Yeah, the one with the wolf and the girl and the grandma.
I was thinking of the same
That's
thing.
like
And
because as you said, it has to be
yeah.
so basic that everybody knows the story, and
Yeah,
it's like the hello world for Plot Maniac, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the same thing, and I'm very glad that you said that right now. So I'm feeling quite confident maybe that this is the right thing.
So, are you talking about what is it called? Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I thought of too.
Okay, that's really amazing. So I think we're all on the same page. So I think I'm going to do that then. So from every Sunday, actually, I want to release now a new blog post, because that gives me just the weekend actually to wrap things up, because normally during the week everything is a little bit busy. And yeah, so now for the upcoming weeks, actually, I want to make up for what I've lost in the second week. I have now 5 free days because of Easter, which is pretty good. So I think I get a lot of things done there. And I hope by the end of next week, I can show you guys a little bit more progress. I mean, now it's basically, yeah, with a little tweaks, it's basically in the state that you saw last week already. So I'm not even sure if it's worth sharing right now. But yeah, and I worked on the guides actually, because I want to provide some guides to my writers, and I have now like around, let's say, like 20 pages of just text of writing guides, how to get your story done and stuff like that. So I want to obviously like make that a little bit shorter and just figure out in which areas to put them. But as far as my roadmap looks like, I think that's only in week, I think 4 or 5. No, in week 4. So I think the week after that, you're going to see some more content on the side, which is pretty cool, I think. And yeah, but I think in general, I'm pretty good on track when it comes to my 6-week plan of going live. And I also have like, I think, quite of a nice strategy now for Instagram, which where I'm going to promote actually tomorrow. I'm going to like make a post with like a small countdown and things like that, where people can see that like in the end of the month, Plotmaniac will be live. But I'm still considering maybe launching it as a, let's say, a closed beta. So I wanna, if Instagram by then grew enough, I wanna share a post basically where people can visit a link to Plotmaniac, and this link will be valid for 24 hours, and everybody can sign up within those 24 hours, and then we'll be just locked. I think that helps me a little bit to, hopefully control the let's say the people that sign up, because I'm not very sure how stable the platform will be, to be honest.
Timo, why not making it
Yeah.
a wait list? I think you're probably overestimating the floodgates. I think
Probably, yeah.
that would be a good problem to have, but I think
I know.
it would be easier for you, and you don't have to do an expiring link or anything like that. Just have them sign up. They can already sign up, right? I think for the wait list, and whoever is on the wait list gets invited on to the private beta. And like you say, whatever, 50 spots, 100 spots are open. And the good thing is that no one knows if they were in the first 100 or not, even if you change your mind and just invite 10 in the end.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually that makes sense. Yeah, maybe
don't over-engineer it, just keep it simple.
You're
Any
right.
beta sign up works like that. Just sign up if you want to be in the beta, and then you pick. You can even decide to do another step in between to see, like, somehow filter your audience, like interview them, or have another selection step which kind of tells you, okay, those are more engaged than others, or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, I can really do that. I think by tomorrow I can already have that set up. So with my Instagram post, then people can already start signing up, because I already feel like there's more engagement on Instagram than there ever was on Twitter. It's really crazy how Instagram works in that sense.
Yeah,
I think.
it's quite different. But one more kind of a suggestion: watch the Cohort 3 videos. Catherine from Harmony CB, they are currently gearing up. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, they launched today their beta version.
Okay.
And she is doing it very, very systematically, where she is interviewing customers and kind of doing customer onboarding, where they even do live sessions with them where they build stuff. So it's a no-code tool to learn how the users use it. So kind of watch those videos, and I think she would be probably open to talk to you as well. I mean, first of all, she's on the Slack channel, right? So you're in a very similar phase. You're a couple of weeks behind her with a different tool, but like learn from the process she's going through right now, because she's figuring out what works and what doesn't work for her anyway. So I think that could be of great value for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a try for sure. Thanks. Yeah, so other than that, I think I have nothing to share for this week.
So, Timo, you mentioned that you have a team. How big is your team for
It's not very big. Like currently, I would maybe consider it like 1.5 people extra.
So okay, total. Let's say total.
Like me, and then like another guy as well.
Okay.
He's he's not putting as much time into it as I am, but I mean, of course, he's not to blame. He's doing a very good job, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he's a friend of mine, and he just offered his help, which I'm very thankful for. And yeah, I think currently he's developing some cool features, which hopefully next week I can show as well. And and then there is another guy who is just like helping me with the Instagram stuff, and with the with the manual writing manuals and stuff. My sister is actually doing this writing manuals, and so like Yeah, but my
Right,
sister is not really working like half time there, so and my Instagram guy is also not like half time. It's like it's very strange. It's like more on a friendly basis. It's not like really a team that I'm paying currently. So
Right.
they're all doing it because of goodwill, which is really amazing. And yeah, so hopefully I can grow my team soon. Then things get forward a little bit further, but faster. But yeah, currently most of the things I'm doing by myself with a little bit help on the side, which is yeah why part of the reason why Plotmaniac is moving so fast, I think right now, which I think we can yeah accomplish the end of April goal.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, just friends, couple of
That's
maniacs.
great.
Oh,
All right. All right.
yeah.
So what does anyone need help with anything? Advice with anything?
I'm good, I think.
Yeah, I'm okay as well. So today's you guys made good points, and I'll bring that into my activities.
Yeah, I think I'm okay right now.
Yeah, same here.
All right. No open questions. Businesses are going well. Sales
Yeah,
are rolling in. Excellent. Yeah. So
no, I mean,
last
when we
comment
get-
for you, Timo, then.
Yeah.
Like the sign up, right? So because before we actually talked about, or before you laid out how you were planning on doing the beta thing, I was going to ask if you had a conversion, like at least target or any call to action for your social media campaigns, right? Because now you're gearing up for the beta. So I think as you are doing that waitlist sign up or however you decide on doing it, I think you should start including that, right? Like that's the call to action. And I think last week we also talked about maybe doing a giveaway of sorts, like the first, I don't know, 10 users get the first year free, or, all of these things you're thinking about now, right, can help you drive that beta pool. And I think what you want is really the people who want in right now, for whatever reason. It doesn't matter, as long as they're actual users of the tool who want to use a tool, even if it's just because it's free, and then really learn from them, right? Like your stipulations will be, you get it free, but I would kind of expect like a call once or twice over the next couple of weeks, or something like that, right? Like whatever can give you insight on how your customers are going to use it will be valuable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm planning to put some more. Yeah, sounds so hard when I say it, but some more analytics on the page to see like how they really use the tool later when they're logged in. But of course, I can only do that if they accept the little pop-up that comes up on the page. If they don't, then yeah, I cannot use it.
Yeah. So that's an interesting topic too, which was we had the cohort 3 check-in earlier. That was a big topic there too. So we talked about Hotjar. What else did we talk about? I have it in my notes somewhere. Mixed panel. Mixed panel is just for users in general, but then Full Story and Hotjar seem to be the two tools everyone recommended. Of course, you need to be GDPR compliant, but yeah, I agree. Definitely put that in, and don't build it yourself, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, but other than that, I think it's going good. I'm really. I think that's a good advice here with the waitlist. I can really put that in the post, and that's really an easy call to action. You can just say, yeah, sign up for this waitlist, bam, and that's it.
Yeah. With
the link, it would be more difficult.
It works, by the way. I got 2 cohort waitlist signups today, and there's no promotion of CoStarting other than these videos and whatnot. So people do find it randomly and sign up. Like, of course, not every one of the signups will also end up converting, But it works, and it's such an easy thing, right? There's no.
Before that, you already had 2 signups, right? For this cohort, for the third one, right?
How do you mean?
Wasn't it something like this? You had already like waitlist signups for the other cohort, for the third one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And now it's for the fourth, right?
Yeah. So, well, it's not explicit on the website. It's just kind of sign up for future cohorts or to be alerted about future cohorts or something like that. I currently have, I think, 4 or 5 in the waitlist, maybe I want to say. For the last cohort, I reached out to 1 or 2 of them. One ended up converting because he signed up and he was the one I had to sub in. You guys might remember that we had a last minute change there.
Yeah.
So he signed up and literally the next day I onboarded him.
I see.
But yeah, no, it's the easiest thing you can do. And well, you have your website custom coded anyway, but I just did it with card and Airtable. So it's a card form, which funnels it into Airtable, which then alerts me on Slack.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally like, it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes for you to set it up. It's super simple, and it's all free. So don't, allow yourself. I know you have that problem, probably even more so than me as a coder. Allow yourself to use the tools which are there. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to use, Node Mailer and all that stuff.
I mean, I have all that functionality already. I went through that pain already, so
Okay.
it's it should be easy now. It's probably now 10 minutes, but let's say an hour, because I need to style the form and things like that. So
sure, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you have it, of course, then use it. But sometimes it's you are further down the road now. My website is not. There's no custom code yet for anything, right? So I'm using no-code tools. All right, awesome. Anything else you guys want to talk about for a couple minutes, or and are we ending on time today?
That's good.
Apparently we do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh yeah, Timo, unrelated, but what time do you wake up in the morning?
Well, I mean, it's really hard for me, mostly during the week. But I wake up at 9:30, kind of, because that's when I have my first meeting. And I wake up at 9:25, let's say. Like.
It's 2 a.m. there now, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Wow.
tomorrow I have the day off, so it's good. So, and I have the day off, like days off until Monday, actually. So I think now I can really put in some work on Plot Maniac, which is amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, but generally at 9:30, and yeah, it's really bad, especially if you just go to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. And then.
But he does that. He does that if there is a cohort check-in or not. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. Yeah. I mean, I've always been like some sort of how do you say it in English, like a night owl, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. It's so funny how people are like that, but I enjoy waking up at like 5 or 6 a.m. Have my best work of the day at that time. Like, and right now it's only 8 p.m., but I can't wait to think about walking my dog and then eating something and going to bed.
Wow, it's amazing. So I think we have the same sleep schedule, kind of, but just with a 6-hour time difference in between.
All right. Well, this is awesome as always, guys. You're all in Slack, like I said. Timo, you should reach out to Catherine, and then we will all check in next week. And
okay, amazing.
maybe we'll all touch base with Steve. We haven't even mentioned why Steve is not here. Steve's still with us, but he couldn't make it today. But I saw in his updates that he is actually considering pivoting. I want to maybe just tease that for next week. We'll let him tell us, but let's all follow up with him on Slack, shall we?
Yeah.
We shall.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.